How is Ahsoka so powerful? In lightsaber battles, she has gone toe-to-toe with Maul in Season 7 of the Clone Wars and even Darth Vader in Season 2 of Star Wars Rebels. Well, I asked you, the community, what you thought, and as always, you came through with some interesting thoughts. So let's get right into them. First up here we have Mini Ears, and they state Ahsoka is so powerful because of natural talent, Anakin's influence, and the fact she basically has the embodiment of the Force living within her. Another commenter, Christian, has something similar to say. He states, she's got the soul of the daughter inside her, of course her potential is through the ceiling. And Mini Ears and Christian are both referring to the fact that the daughter sacrificed herself, her life essence, to bring Ahsoka back to life. And obviously they're speculating that some of the daughter's power has been transferred to Ahsoka. That's certainly something that comes up a lot during this discussion, and I think there might be something to it. But let's move on to commenter Crossbow. They state 2 reasons. Reason 1, she did what she thought was right and was rebellious, which created freedom and allowed her Force abilities to become more flexible. Also, she had Anakin, Obi-Wan, and Rex as good friends and mentors, all in separate ways. Reason 2, when she died in Season 3 of the Clone Wars, the daughter gave the rest of her life to Ahsoka. This made her more powerful because the daughter was the embodiment of the light side of the Force. So both great reasons there, Crossbow. I love the fact that you point out that she had so many influences. Anakin, Obi-Wan, Rex. You know, if you look back especially at Rex, because that's not a name that comes up as much as Anakin and Obi-Wan, he would actually make a fantastic Jedi. A lot of the choices that he makes sort of contrasts Anakin. He's able to let go of Echo at the end of the Bad Batch arc. Even after everything he's gone through to rescue Echo, he's willing to let him go and become part of the Bad Batch. And that's something I think Anakin would have struggled with a lot more. Again, you've brought up the daughter, and I think there is something to the fact that her life essence may reside in Ahsoka, and that may give her a lot of power. But personally, I'm not a huge fan of that speculation because I think it takes something away from Ahsoka, away from all the hard work and development of Ahsoka, and just kind of seems like a cheat, the fact that she is more powerful and she hasn't really earned it. I mean, that's a criticism that's thrown at Rey a lot, and I'm not sure if that's really true for Ahsoka. She seems to be a character that's really earned all of her power. She's been through a lot, and I think we're going to get to more of that with further comments, so let's move on here to Leab1091, and they state, she had excellent mentors in Anakin Skywalker, Obi-Wan Kenobi, Plo Koon, Yoda, and others. She also was one of the few Jedi to see the errors of the Order's ways, and this ability to balance her thoughts likely gave her stronger grounding in the Force. Her post-Order 66 time spent meditating on the ways of the Force, unbound to her membership of the Jedi Order, also gave her strength. She was also likely born with a strong connection to the Force and is naturally gifted. And some fantastic points here, and I want to concentrate on one, and that is post-Order 66. During the Ahsoka novel, she definitely does a lot of meditating and tries to sort out what happened during the Clone Wars. This combined with the fact that she stepped away from the Jedi Order and had that adventure with Trace and Rafa, the Martez sisters. Whether you like the Martez sisters or not, I think we can all appreciate the fact that Ahsoka went through a lot of growth during that story arc, and she learned about how the Jedi Order had really lost their way. So absolutely great points there, Leab. Thank you. But we also had a comment here from Ahsoka521. She states, I feel like Ahsoka's power has more to do with her wisdom and being open-minded to others' philosophies. And that's a really interesting point. Absolutely. The fact that she's able to take little bits that she likes from so many different characters, Obi-Wan, Yoda, Anakin, Padme, Rex, even things from Qui-Gon Jinn that were taught to Obi-Wan and Anakin. I think that's one of the keys of Ahsoka, is that she is open-minded. She's willing to question things and she's willing to come up with her own ideas. And I think that's what leads her to becoming more of a true Jedi, more in tune with the Force, and ultimately more powerful. So really cool comment, Ahsoka521. Let's move on to Alexander Fossey. I apologize, I suck at names. They commented, not only did she have good mentors, but unlike many Padawans, she's battle-hardened from everything she's done in the Clone Wars and knows how to keep her cool. Absolutely. When it comes to those fights with Maul in the Clone Wars Season 7, when when it comes to that fight versus Darth Vader. This is a Force wielder that has so much experience. She trained with Anakin and Obi-Wan, arguably some of the best lightsaber duelists. She's gone toe-to-toe with Ventress, Grievous, and throughout her young life has just been part of conflict. A lot of people wouldn't like this, I don't think, but when comparing her to, say, even Luke Skywalker, I think she would be a far superior lightsaber duelist if we compare them both in their prime. But let's move on to Connor Hugan. He states, natural Force gifts, great masters and mentors, connection with the daughter, and constant new views and discoveries of the Force. And that's another great point and key, Connor, similar to what Ahsoka 521 says, sort of having this open mind. But the ability to never stop learning is also very important when it comes to having an open mind. So great point. That's definitely something that contributes to her being absolutely so powerful. We also have a comment here from Sean Marchand. He states, since meeting with Anakin and Obi-Wan, she was able to take the best traits from each of the two. Anakin in particular had the greatest influence because he was her master and all. Ahsoka was able to learn so much from him, but Ahsoka did not take his bad traits such as killing people and using similar actions used by dark side users. Absolutely, Sean Marchand. I think this comes back to exactly what Ahsoka 521 and have been mentioning, and that is the fact that she has an open mind. She looks at Anakin, sees what he's doing, but she's also able to say, you know what, that's not me, that's not how I'm going to operate, and she would be even willing to call out Anakin on certain things as well. I think that's one of the things that makes Ahsoka so. Let's move on here to Super Triton 11. They state, number 1, she is a true Gouda. Good point. Number 2, she is trained by Plo Koon. Number 3, she was the Padawan of Anakin Skywalker. 4, she was trained during the Clone Wars. 5, she inherited the daughter's powers. I'm not totally sure if she inherited the daughter's powers. I think she might have inherited some power, but saying that she inherited all the daughter's powers, I think that might go too far. But Super Triton goes on to say, she learned from notable Jedi such as Obi-Wan, Plo Koon, Old Lizard Dude from Lightsaber Lost, Barriss Offee, and Luminary. She received a military and tactical training from Admiral Yularen, Rex, Wolf, Fives, and Echo. She had experience combating Sith, unlike most of the other Order at the time, and she was exemplary in aerobatics. To sum up, she is just a freaking badass. And absolutely, Super Triton, when you put it like that, she learned from so many different individuals. It's interesting to hear you name them all. I really like your point about the military and tactical training from all those folks. That's an interesting one we haven't heard yet. But let's move on here to the Medieval Man 9. And he stated, obviously, to start, there's the fact that she's naturally powerful with the Force. She's demonstrated this time and time again in the Clone Wars. So right away, she has an advantage. But this isn't what made her so formidable. Now, she had the largest stroke of luck by having not one but two extremely powerful Jedi as her mentors and teachers, Obi-Wan and Anakin. This has been mentioned before by Dave Filoni, but we can't gloss over this fact. From both of them, she learned valuable lessons when it came to the Force and her approach to it. With Obi-Wan, she was exposed to all the wisdom of the Jedi Order and the examples of applying that wisdom with an incredibly large dose of compassion from him. She not only knew when to fight, but more importantly, why to fight. And then there's Anakin. Anakin was a maverick, and while he never openly disobeyed the Council, he came right out and told her doing what the Council says is one thing. How we go about doing it, that's another. That's what I'm trying to teach you. Anakin was never one for rules and doing what was expected. He was so successful during the Clone Wars because he never did what a Jedi was expected to do. From him, she learned not only how to fight, but more importantly, how to think. Put these two lessons together and you find yourself with a Jedi who would be easily in the upper scale of peacekeepers and peacemakers. Already, she would be nearly unstoppable by just about anyone else in the galaxy except for the very powerful. But Ahsoka had one other final advantage that neither Obi-Wan nor Anakin had. She was free. Obi-Wan had all the wisdom, but he was still bound by the rules of the Jedi Order. Anakin had all the cunning and unconventional thinking, but he was still preoccupied with trying to get the other Jedi, especially the Council, to look on him favorably. Ahsoka suffered from none of this. She had the wisdom of the Jedi and none of the dogma, traditions, or protocols to hinder her. And she had all the unconventional thinking without caring whatsoever what the rest of the Order, especially the Council, thought of her. Yeah, and that's a really great point there, Medieval Man 9. She very much harkens back to Qui-Gon Jinn. I mean, we've discussed in the past how she's probably gotten that from Obi-Wan and Anakin, but like Qui-Gon, I believe she's very much become a true Jedi. But thank you so much for breaking that down, Medieval Man 9. You made a lot of great points there about what specifically she got from Obi-Wan and what she took from Anakin. I appreciate everybody's comments, and it's always awesome to hear from you guys, the community. I look forward to our next community video. As always, I'm Mike. Thanks for watching, and may the Force be with you.